Welcome back. You and me, I'm back again 2 days in a row. Welcome back to the Her Hoop Stats podcast. I am with the coach, Helen Williams. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. This is it's like an honor. I get to work with the producer. 2 days in a row. You're big time.
Well, I told somebody, one of my friends texted me yesterday and said, "You're like a regular now." I said, "Yeah." I filled in one time, which happened to be with you when Chelsea was sick that time. And I was scared to death because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I am behind the scenes, and now I am on every week.
Now you just the man in front and behind the camera. So it's all good. It's
Hey,
always fun to be with you. We always have great conversations off camera, so we might as well have one on camera.
absolutely. And you know what? This week I started back my workout regimen after a
Oh,
couple of months off from due to laziness. Um,
at least you're self-aware and honest.
you got to be. But no, I started back on Monday, and today is the first day that I'm really feeling it. My arms hurt.
Oh, today's Thursday. Okay,
Yes, my
so
arms
all
hurt, my
right.
legs are tight. So yeah,
Listen,
I'm
you gotta
using.
be confident with that stuff. You gotta go at least 6 days a week.
Mm,
Don't
yeah,
have
that's
to
my
be
goal.
anything
That's my
don't
goal.
have to be anything crazy like, I today I got my swim in this morning, it was great. I mean, you gotta move
Yeah,
6 days a week according to what your body will allow you to do, and then keep it moving.
yeah. Well, that's my goal is to go 6 days and then rest on Sunday. That's my plan, and I'm gonna stick to that because I want to lose a little bit more weight before we head out to Phoenix for the Final Four.
That's right, 'cause there will be no, baggy clothes out in
No,
Phoenix.
no, you got yeah. It's gonna be a little warmer down there, which hey, I'm not. I'm ready for it.
You
Um,
gotta and you gotta be ready because you know Cindy is gonna be offering you adult beverages, so you have to lose more than you really want because 'cause you're probably gonna put on a little bit while you're there if Cindy has anything to do with it in her adult beverages, so,
Yes,
you know.
and yeah, so I'm using for these workouts. I'm using this new app that I found, and I think it's literally called 7 Minute Workouts. And the first 3 days, I kind of chose what I wanted to do. Maybe I did Tai Chi one day, do abs the next day. Today, which was a mistake, and I'm never doing it again. I pressed the button that says "Surprise Me," and it had lunges. I had
Oh
jump
my.
squats. And yeah, never
That
hit
that was
surprise
a
me again.
real workout. No, so you gotta pick and choose what you wanna do.
Mhm.
You just look at things and then figure out, if it hurts and you know not to do it again, and hopefully you don't hurt yourself too bad. But yeah, you gotta pick and choose. That surprised me stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not with that.
Related but unrelated. And I have a friend that'll be listening to this show later, and she'll laugh at the fact that I just said that. But related to what we're talking about, but unrelated to what we're going to be talking about, which is basketball. When you chose to be vegan, how hard of a choice was that?
How much time do we have? So here's the thing. I chose it for immunity purposes, spiritual purposes, and believe it or not, climate change. I won't go through all that, but
Yeah.
the point is, in my family, I have high blood pressure, lupus, and diabetes, and so I do not like taking medicine. I feel like medicine is necessary in some situations, but if you can avoid it or just use it as a bridge instead of a crutch, then that's why I decided to do it. So it was kind of gradual. Stopped eating meat at first, and then just stopped eating beef at first. Excuse me, and then just sort of stopped eating meat, and then stopped all dairy. So it wasn't like it was cold turkey, but it was necessary for me, for my health, and for a lot of other reasons. So in my mind, you have to be disciplined either way. You're either disciplined to take your medicine every day, or you're disciplined to eat right. So I choose to use my food as medicine and be disciplined with that. Hopefully that answers your question.
It did. It did. And I mean, I'm just. I don't think I want to go full vegan, but I think I want to institute some of the principles. If that
Okay,
makes,
okay.
if that makes any
I,
sense.
I got you. You when you wanna chat, I got you.
Okay. Well, look, we'll get back to some of that a little later, maybe off screen, because I know people are ready to hear us talk a little basketball. Last night, and Scout's honor, I didn't actually watch this game live. I had to go back and watch it after I saw what she did. But Kiyomi McMiller for Penn State, um, 6 game in a row where she's gone, and I'm not even gonna say 30 plus because it's really been 38, 39, 40, 43, 38. I mean, it's been the high 30s and 40s, 6 games in a row now. And she got 40 last night in their upset against USC. They are playing their way into the Big Ten tournament. And I think they're a scary team because they have her. I think she makes them very scary when you come into a one by one format like that. What do you
Yeah,
think about those
I mean,
performances?
I think she has always been a scary. I mean, whatever team she's been on, she's been a scary player. But for whatever reason, it didn't work out at Rutgers, and so now it's taken a minute to work out at Penn State. And I would have to say it's coming at a good time because Coach Krieger is on her seat was kind of warm. I don't know her contract situation. I don't know if she has more time left, but it's coming at a good time for the coaching staff. So, you look at that game, she was 7 for 10 from 3 point range, and USC allowed Penn State, and I use the word on purpose, allowed Penn State to shoot 58% from 3 point range. So you're not going to win a game, when you allow 3 point percentage like that. So USC's got to shore up some things by the time the tournament comes.
While we're on the Big Ten, I just want to mention this game because it kept me up later than I wanted to stay up last night.
I know you sent me the graphic.
Michigan against Michigan and Ohio State, and like I showed you that the graphic shows how the game flow went. I mean, it was here for Michigan, it was down here for Ohio State, back up for Michigan, and right down to the end when Olivia Olson hits the shot in overtime to put them ahead, to put Michigan ahead by 2. Ohio State takes a heave at the buzzer, which winds up being she let it go after the red light, but it went in too. It was constant, and I was thinking to myself, please, when they were reviewing it, don't let this be good because
You
I had
want
to
to go
stay
to
up in there.
bed?
No, I'm sorry, Ohio State fans, but because I really at the end of the day didn't care who won the game because it was so good. Uh, I had no skin in it, but I was so tired. I was honestly like right before they went into overtime, I was kind of dozing off, and it just kind of progressively got me into it. But no, it was a great game. And I don't really have a whole lot other to say about that. Just I just thought that both teams were shot for shot with each other. Jelani Cambridge is something special to watch. Saga Swords and Olivia Olson, the Canadian connection with Michigan is very good. But we talked about Penn State and USC, and you mentioned how well USC shot the ball. I want to move to another game where a team shot almost identical to those, and that's the Richmond Spiders against Rhode Island last night in a game that Richmond probably sort of really needed to win.
Yeah, and let me just say this before I talk about Richmond. You should be scared if you have to play Michigan in
Yeah,
in NCAA tournament. I'm not even talking about the Big Ten tournament.
yeah.
You should be scared because they have been so close and they are due. They are due to get over that hump, and you do not want to be on their side of the bracket. So anyway, yeah,
They've had too many classic games this year. Been a part of too many really close ones and very good ones that
they're
eventually.
due. They're due,
Yeah.
man. They are due. So I know people look at the bracket and go, please don't put us on their side. But Richmond, yeah, here's the thing with Richmond. I personally think that they have to win the tournament to get in because they don't have any signature Power Four wins, like they did last year. And, you've got George Mason there, and then Rhode Island at least has a Power Four. The better NC State plays, the better Rhode Island looks, even though it was early in the season. So I think Richmond, I think they need to win out. I think they need to win the tournament. So that was a good win for them at home last night.
Yeah, 16 of 30 from the 3-point line. I mean, just that's ridiculous. And on this is what I
It's
love.
listen. There's a kid on that team. I forget what her name is, but she had like 4 3-pointers, and they were all from the right baseline. While you're talking, I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna pull her up because I want to give that kid her props.
You talking about Alicia Newell? Uh,
She's a big kid.
oh, Sam Dewey. Sam Dewey. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Give Sam Dewey her due because that
Mhm.
kid at right baseline, she was killing him. I don't know what her stats were, but I watched her hit four for sure,
Yeah.
3 pointers, and two of them were contested. So you have that coming off the bench. It's a definite plus for you. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I
no,
got
you're
to give
fine.
that kid her, got to give that kid her credit.
It's crazy. She was 4 of 7 and 4 of 9 for the games, and she's 4 of 7 from 3-point line. All 4 field goals made from 3-point.
Big kid, big
Yeah,
kid.
big kid. A, a kid that I once jokingly told a friend of mine that I'm pretty sure I could guard Sam Dewey because she's not overly quick, but the more I watched her play, the more
You
I'm
take
just
that
gonna
back.
shut
You
my
take that
mouth.
back.
Yep, I'm a
Yeah, you
holler it
should
on
take that
down
back.
and give her due because she deserves it. But no, what I really love about Richmond last night, their 25 made field goals was on 21 assists, and that's right to my
Yeah.
favorite part. I love that.
Yeah, they have always been great with ball movement, with sharing the basketball, with spacing. They caught lightning in a bottle last year at the NCAA tournament, and for whatever reason, just haven't been able to duplicate that this season. But they're well disciplined, well coached, and that's a team that you should be afraid to play as well.
Now, you said before we started recording, you wanted to go a little deeper into the 18 tournament and the ramifications that might come from it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that if Richmond wins the tournament, I do think that Rhode Island will get in. And then, there's some question about George Washington, right? Will they get three? I,
George
I think
Mason,
if
Mason.
Richmond win, George, excuse me, thank
You're
you,
good.
George Mason. Um, I think if Richmond gets in, if Richmond wins, then Rhode Island will get in. I don't know if they'll get a third one, but that's one of the three leagues I think you should be looking at for the conference tournament to see who gets in and at large, which takes away a bid from maybe somebody in the Power Four who thought they were going to get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the tournaments that I watch every year, and I think I bring up Debbie on this podcast every single time I come on it. But I'm gonna
Free
bring up.
publicity for Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, we do a little work with the A10 where she does a bunch of interviewing of the players. She does a thing during their media day where she goes in and she'll interview the players. She'll have them drawing up plays, and we clip all that and we put it out for content. But it's so I wound up following the A10 a lot more than most other conferences, and they're one of the tournaments I'm definitely going to be sitting down and prime time viewing for.
Yeah, that one, and obviously the Ivy League. You're watching
Hmm.
that. Is Princeton going to win Ivy Madness? And Columbia and Princeton, I think right now are in. Um, don't know about Harvard. What if Harvard wins a tournament, right? Then is it between Princeton and Columbia? I mean, that's the great thing about that. And one other league that people aren't really talking about, I think, is Summit League. You got South Dakota State second, North Dakota State number one. They have split in the season, so they're 1-1. But South Dakota has the better resume in terms of who they played. They played North Carolina, they played Duke, they played Texas, and they beat Kansas State.
Okay.
And North Dakota has only played Nebraska, and they don't have any Power Four wins. So if South Dakota wins the tournament, does North Dakota get in? So that'll be one to watch as well.
A team out of the Big 12 that you have brought up a lot on this podcast because it seemingly no one else is really talking about them are the Mountaineers from West Virginia.
Nobody, I don't understand it. Well, I kind of understand it because it's not pretty basketball. It's
No,
it's
right.
not it's not pleasing to the eye, but the results are the results, and they've gotten it done. Nobody talked about them at the beginning of the year. Nobody talked about them in the middle of the year or the conference, and they just keep winning, and I'm 10 toes down on them, just like I am on Clemson. So, yeah, I just think people should be talking about them more.
Starting with their, I mean, just in this month alone, they have won 6 or 7. Um, with starting with their win on February 1st against Baylor, and they've just continued and continued and continued. I think their only loss was a 9-point loss to TCU, which back to back Big 12 regular season champions. So
Yeah, I mean, when they beat Duke with just 4 players on the court, people talked about them, and then they just sort of forgot about them. And the better Duke is done, the better West Virginia looks for that win in terms of their resume. But yeah, people should be paying attention to them. I don't know how they're going to do in the tournament, but that's another team that you don't want to play.
another team um, that's out there that's been talked about a lot, and it's not for a good reason. Out of the SEC, Tennessee. Uh, they have maybe the toughest schedule remaining in the SEC, where they're at LSU
What do they have
tonight.
left? Okay, yeah,
Yeah, at LSU
that's
tonight, and on Sunday, Vanderbilt comes to Knoxville. And
yeah. That team has been talked about ad nauseum. I feel for Kim Caldwell because you're looking at it, what's the answer, right? And then you leave Janiyah Barker at home for the last game that they have because she's not meeting expectations. What does that mean? And then I think Andrea Carter, her comments were so on point about Tennessee, and I could feel the frustration in her voice the way I'm frustrated when I talk about Wake Forest. Sometimes your alma mater's not doing well, and she's totally right. The coach has to come up with the answer, but I just think it's like the perfect storm of all these changes. You with NIL, if you're going to have a system, she has a system that you really need to have continuity for. You really need to have players that are there, for extended period of time, 2, 3 years, for them to really get it. When someone gets there the first year, they don't necessarily have context. They're just doing things because coach said go here, coach said go there. When this happens, do this. When that happens, do this. And then when things don't happen the way that they described it, you don't have enough institutional knowledge to be able to use your basketball IQ to make adjustments. Her system requires that you be there for a while. So what is she going to do about that? Because what it does is it breeds inconsistency. You have some days where they execute on both ends of the floor the way you want, and then you have some days where they don't, and then they deal with adversity sometimes, like when they play Texas, and they don't deal with adversity sometimes when they, in some of their losses. So I do feel for Coach Carlos. She's going to have to make some changes in the offseason. What those changes are, I do not know.
uh, uh, we don't know to this point if Janiyah is gonna now. Coach Caldwell said in her press conference yesterday, leading up to this LSU game, that she expects Janiyah to be back. So I'm gonna say that she plays tonight, but
Is it at LSU?
it's in Baton Rouge. Yep.
That's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tall ask.
Yeah, they're playing really well right now, and just yeah, but it's just so. Let's see what's that gonna make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this would be 7, and say they lose to Vanderbilt on Sunday would be 8. That's 8 losses straight going into the SEC tournament.
But they're the kind of team they'll win in the first round. They could go on a tangent on a heater and get to the semifinals or finals. So they're a scary team, particularly because you have no idea which one of their teams is going to show up.
Yeah, and let me correct myself, because I know when I listen to podcasts, I scream when somebody gets something wrong. There would be 7 of 8 as far as losing, because they beat Missouri a couple weeks ago. So
Okay.
7 of the last 8 would be losses if they lose the next 2 going into the SEC tournament. And it's not. And what's crazy, like me and Tiger said yesterday, they're the type of team that could get to Greenville and make a lot of noise. They could really just turn it on and be the team that we saw in the first half against UConn.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is still Tennessee. There's still basketball excellence there. It's just a question of when and where it shows up.
Well, do you have any other conference tournaments you kind of want to hit on before we get out of here?
Well, I do want to say, I do want to talk again of the Big 12. You mentioned West Virginia. Going to be interesting to see how Texas Tech, what they do. They lost to Kansas last night.
Yeah.
They only shot 9 free throws. They were 4 for 20 from 3 point range, and they gave up 20. They allowed Kansas to have 27 free throws. And if they're if nobody knows who Samaya Nichols is, you need to Google her. I mean, she is strong with a K, not strong. She is strong. I mean, that kid, solid kid, great score, played really well last night. Had like 19 points, but I'm curious as to what Texas Tech is going to do because they started off like gangbusters and then it just sort of petered out as we got to the end of the, as we're getting towards the end of the season. So that'll be interesting to me as well.
Yeah, they're another team that's lost three of their last four, heading into their matchup with Arizona State on Sunday, which is another team that's fighting on that bubble and trying to keep their season alive.
Yeah, so we'll see, and then I'll be at the ACC tournament next week. That's going to be a great tournament. Cannot wait to watch that. Doing some research for the NCAA tournament. So all I can say is my alma mater made it. I'm 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 grateful that Wake Forest is in the tournament. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's going to be a great tournament.
Well, what are you looking forward to most when you go down to Atlanta?
I just the basketball excellence. Like there's going to be ACC tournament. There are always some how do I say it, hella good games, especially in the second and third round. I mean, it's going to be you're going to have overtime. I don't know in that second or third round if anybody's going to get blown out, but it's fun to watch. It's a great atmosphere.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of. So Duke will go in number one, and you got Louisville, Carolina, NC State. That this is the team. I knew if I brought up the standings, it would jog my memory. Syracuse. I love Felicia Leggett
Oh,
Jack. I
I
love
love her to
everything
death.
she
It
does.
should be rookie of the year. We'll see if people are not out of their if they're not out of their minds. That kid should be rookie of the
Say
year. It-
say her
It's
name again. I cut you off. Say her name.
Uche Izoche.
Yes.
Just phenomenal player. A lot of just raw talent, but Felicia has turned that into great basketball instinct. So Syracuse is a team to watch out for. Louisville is pissed off because they've lost, and that's a team that still people talk about them, but they don't talk about it. You talk about the ACC, it's always Duke, Carolina, and NC State. It's Duke's finally back where they're supposed to be. Carolina has been up and down. NC State's not as good as they were last year. Nobody talks about Louisville, but they are, I think, a complete team. They're deep, and I would not be surprised if they won the tournament.
Yeah, and because when you are in a crunch and you're at the end of a game, you're in a close game. I don't know that there's another coach that I would want over Jeff Walls in that kind of situation. Just the things that he can draw up and put in the way he can put his players in a spot to be successful.
Yeah, especially his inbounds and his situational basketball IQ is tremendous. I love watching his out of bounds plays. So, and again, he always needs to find something to be mad at. But I think he's just got a great combination of talent inside and out. I think Siegler was just the pickup of the year in terms of out of the portal, and those young kids they're sophomores now, and they have had enough experience where they've won a close game and they've lost a close game, and they're not going to be afraid. So if they can just execute what he draws up, again, I would not be surprised if Louisville won the tournament.
And here's another one, and I know this is gonna make you smile when I say this, but here's another team I believe have the shot to make some noise and possibly get to that championship game of the ACC tournament, and that's your 10 toes down Clemson Tigers.
Yay, old school, raise the roof. Yes, yes. I said back in November, Sean Poppy, that dude can coach. So I think it's so ironic that the kid who hit the shot to win the game came with him from Chattanooga. So yeah, they're on a roll. You know, they're in. I think Virginia's probably in based on their. You know, they beat Louisville at Louisville. So kudos to Coach Mox. She needed to do well this year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tournament.
Well, you have anything else you want to touch on before we head on out?
I'm good, brother. I'm
All
good.
right. Well, I think that's gonna call it for today. As always, you can follow at her hoop stats on all your social media platform. As I get the banner down there going at the bottom, Blue Sky, Instagram, X. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can check out our beautiful faces on YouTube, and please check out our and you have the links down in the bottom in the show notes on the Substack and the newsletter. There's good content coming out every single day. I think today was, I should know this because I put it out, but it was the ACC roundup was our newsletter for today, and obviously every day we have a Toolin's treasure that'll be coming out here in a little bit, according to this time of this recording. But I think that's gonna wrap it up, Coach. It's always fun being with you,
Ditto, my friend. Ditto.
and I guess we'll see you all next time. Thanks for listening.